The atmosphere in the courtroom was thick with tension. The stern, silver-haired judge directed his gaze towards the defendant and asked, "Do you plead guilty?" Lydia, a 30-year-old black woman, stood before the bench, her head lowered and an expression of sorrow on her face. "I plead guilty to all charges and await the court's verdict," she replied. A moment of silence fell over the room, punctuated only by faint murmurs from the audience. The judge broke the quiet again, stating, "For the crime of drunk driving that led to a catastrophic accident resulting in the deaths of 7 individuals and fleeing the scene, the court sentences the defendant, Lydia, to death. This concludes the preliminary trial. The defendant has the right to appeal and the court will reconvene for a retrial." As the judge finished speaking, Lydia turned, panic-stricken, toward a white man seated in the gallery. It was Enzo, a sharply dressed 35-year-old exuding confidence who displayed no signs of distress. Lydia's gaze fell on the 8-year-old black girl sitting beside him, her face twisted in tears. It was Clara, Lydia's daughter, with Enzo. Seeing her daughter sobbing uncontrollably, Lydia couldn't contain herself any longer and screamed, "You liar! You said no one died!" "You told me it would only be 15 years in prison," Clara cried out as well. "Mom, my mom is innocent! Let her go!" Lydia was forcibly restrained, struggling against the officers as she shouted, "No! Let me go! He bribed me into this!" The courtroom erupted into chaos, with the judge having to repeatedly slam his gavel to restore order. "Silence! Clear the court!" he ordered. As Lydia was taken away, her face mirrored anguish and despair, fearing the reality of the death penalty. As the courtroom emptied, Alex, a young lawyer of just 26, had been hired by Enzo to represent Lydia, but his role was merely ceremonial since Lydia had already confessed. He walked alone down the hallway, ready to head home after a tedious day in court. Suddenly, he heard a child sobbing coming from the emergency exit. About to ignore it, he then heard Enzo's voice, sparking his curiosity. Enzo was scolding the young girl, Clara, who was crying uncontrollably. "From now on, you'd better behave and do as I say. Your mother took the fall and went to prison for me so you could live comfortably with me. Forget about your foolish mother," he spat. Just then, Enzo's phone rang, and after a brief conversation, he said to Clara, "Stay put. Someone will come to pick you up. Don't cause any trouble, or I'll ensure all of your kind are wiped out." Once Enzo left, Clara burst into tears. Alex, who had been hiding, waited until Enzo was out of sight before approaching the girl. The moment Clara saw him, she rushed to him, clinging to his leg. "Mr. Lawyer, please save my mom. He was the one driving the car," she pleaded. Quickly piecing together the situation, Alex felt a surge of justice at the thought of Enzo twisting the truth with his wealth. He knelt to meet Clara's tearful eyes. "Don't worry. I will help you and your mother," he said firmly. Even though he was unsure about bringing the case to light, a fire of resolve ignited within him. He had made a promise and was determined to use every skill he had to see it through. Thus began an unlikely crime-solving duo. Alex, an obscure lawyer, and Clara, an 8-year-old girl at risk of losing her mother. As Clara recounted everything she knew, Alex began connecting the dots, realizing that the path to justice wasn't as dark as it seemed. Years ago, Enzo and Lydia had a one-night stand. Unbeknownst to Enzo, Lydia became pregnant and chose to raise Clara alone without reaching out to him. Their paths eventually crossed again, but by then, Enzo was the CEO of a prestigious company, unwilling to acknowledge a child from a one-night stand or his impoverished lover. Standing in the emergency stairwell, Alex suddenly recalled a crucial piece of evidence missing from the trial, the dashcam footage from the car involved in the accident. It was implausible for a wealthy man like Enzo not to have a dashcam, so Alex realized he needed to break into Enzo's heavily guarded mansion to retrieve it. To his surprise, Clara eagerly volunteered, "I can get you inside. The house's security system recognizes my face." They devised a plan in which Alex would follow Clara when someone came to pick her up. Luck appeared to be on their side when Enzo's assistant simply placed Clara in a taxi, allowing Alex to slip in unnoticed. Clara guided Alex through the opulent halls of the mansion without raising suspicion. Eventually, they reached Enzo's office, where Alex swiftly rifled through documents until he discovered a memory card concealed in a ring box. Without hesitation, he plugged the card into his phone, revealing footage from the night of the accident. It clearly showed Enzo exiting the driver's seat after the crash, checking on the victims, and fleeing the scene, with no sign of Lydia anywhere. Heart pounding with relief, Alex replaced the ring box and whispered to Clara, "We've got it. Your mom will be free soon." Clara's eyes sparkled with gratitude, and she expressed her thanks repeatedly. Fueled with renewed determination, Alex headed straight for the judge's chambers with the memory card. Catching the judge just as he was leaving for the day, Alex stated, "I have new evidence to exonerate Lydia." The judge reviewed the footage carefully, then looked at Alex with a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, the verdict in this case will surprise everyone." The appeal trial commenced, and Alex and Clara exchanged hopeful glances, believing Lydia was about to be freed. Clara clutched her favorite teddy bear, a gift from her mother, as she anxiously awaited her release, while Enzo sat beside her, an air of arrogance surrounding him, as if he had done nothing wrong. Moments later, both Clara and Alex froze at the judge's unexpected verdict. The death penalty remained in place. Alex protested immediately. "Your Honor, I've provided evidence proving Lydia's innocence." The judge sneered, "What evidence? I've seen nothing." Enzo smirked at Alex's outburst, watching like a spectator at a show. At that moment, the truth became painfully clear to Alex. Everything was under Enzo's control, including the judge. The judge declared the trial over, ordering everyone to disperse. Lydia, drained of strength, was dragged away by police, her eyes vacant. Clara rushed to her mother, bursting into tears. Disillusioned by the justice system, Alex shouted at the judge, "You're all monsters! You don't deserve your position! Go to hell!" Chaos erupted in the courtroom as Lydia gathered every ounce of energy to break free and sprint toward Clara. Officers had to call for reinforcements to contain the turmoil and restrain Lydia. In the commotion, Clara's beloved teddy bear slipped from her grasp, falling and being trampled in the crowd, a symbol of Lydia and Clara's grim fate. Suddenly, the bear emitted a sound, and the courtroom descended into an eerie silence. Everyone listened intently. Enzo quickly lunged for the teddy bear, desperate to silence it, but it continued playing a recording from the night of the accident. Enzo's voice came through clearly. "I need you to take the blame for me. In return, this filthy little black girl will have a wealthy father in me." Lydia's scornful voice followed. "You think you deserve to be her father? You abandoned us. We've struggled together to survive. Get out of our lives." Then Enzo made his tempting offer. "You'll only serve 15 years. By then, Clara will have graduated from college. You'll be reunited, and she'll have a bright future. Can you guarantee her a college education?" After a brief silence, Lydia resigned, saying, "I'll do it, but you must keep your promise." In that moment, both Lydia and Clara broke down in tears, embracing each other. Enzo stood frozen, clutching the now torn teddy bear, while the judge, jury, and police officers were left stunned into silence. Alex beamed with relief as the truth finally emerged. Unbeknownst to anyone, Lydia had hidden a recording device inside the teddy bear for her daughter's safety at school. By mere chance, the bear captured their entire conversation that fateful night. In the end, Lydia's love for Clara had saved her. Enzo was sentenced to prison, facing the harshest penalties, while his career and reputation crumbled. The corrupt judge was removed from his position, vanishing from the legal world, ultimately serving his own prison time. Alex, once an obscure lawyer, rose to prominence, his reputation solidified by his unwavering commitment to justice. Lydia and Clara were finally exonerated and returned to a normal life. Lydia worked tirelessly every day, lovingly raising Clara without relying on anyone else. The story spread across the media, and Lydia's resilience opened up new job opportunities supported by a generous employer. Gradually, their lives improved, standing as a testament to their enduring strength and love.